Hi everyone, welcome to a chill out with Gina. Today I have an amazing friend and a mentor, and we're going to discuss about amazing things. Hi Mom Faith, welcome to the show, and you're looking good.
Thank you, Gina. I really appreciate being here.
Yeah, now I've been in this WhatsApp group, but I left. I was left it, and they were all discussing about sex. So I really want to know, is marriage all about sex?
I used to think so when I was single. I used to believe that it's just about sex. Until I got married and I realized there's something more than just sex. And how I got to realize that is I started looking at our family homes, our family houses. We don't get into our homes through the bedroom. We go through our homes through the living room. So I kept on wondering, why do we always talk about the bedroom?
And you cannot have sex in the living room every day.
You can try, but still, it doesn't make sense. Every room has its own meaning. And I got to realize, in fact, one thing that made me realize there are different rooms in a marriage, it's because I realized when you're facing conflicts, you need to realize that you need to ask yourself, that conflict is originating from which room? I compare the 7 rooms with different 7 aspects.
So marriage has 7 rooms.
Yeah, exactly, I believe so.
And which is the first room?
I look at the first room is the living room, because originally God planned it in a way that a marriage used to begin involving Him, that is a husband and wife, and God being a witness in that relationship. So I realized our spiritual aspect is so important than anything else. In fact, how we get married depends on our faith.
True.
If you're a Christian, there are values that govern, relationships.
Yeah.
If you're Muslim, there are rules that govern that kind of relationship. If you're a Buddhist, if you're a pagan, if you're an atheist. So I realized our faith plays a big role. And I started looking at it as the first entrance of a marriage. So I looked at what's the first entrance of our homes, and most times it's the living room. So I look at the spiritual aspect as the living room, and sometimes let's look at this. When you walk into somebody's living room, you might not want to, but subconsciously you judge them as per their living room.
According to the decor.
Yes, and how it looks, how they're arranged, and you start assuming the whole house. That's how it is. Probably the same thing. Our spiritual state says a lot about who we are.
So can we say it's in the living room that we should seek God?
Exactly, I believe that. When I look at the spiritual aspect, I look at it as a way that it should guide you in making decisions. And I don't know how marriage would survive without God, because it's Him who initiated it, and He has to be part of it. So that's why I believe it's so essential. And why I like the 7 rooms. Let's say, for example, the towel you use in the bathroom. Is it the same towel you use to wipe dishes?
No.
Then why do we use the same principles, different issues to solve? So I always start looking at it this way. If you have a conflict, I start asking myself, this conflict is represented in which room? And what principles work in that room? So that I'm able to be sober and be able to solve them correctly.
So viewers, the first room is the living room. On to the second.
The second room, I realize most people actually don't have it. A lot of people don't. They don't think it's relevant, yet I think it's one of the most important rooms in life. And that's the study room.
Actually, I don't have one. So
Study room is an amazing place. And why I call it study room, because it's a place for study, a place for researching. And I think it's very key when you get married, either before or even after, you get to understand your spouse. You get to understand their culture, their background, because that's what makes them who they are. And it will be difficult to respond to someone if you don't understand their background. So you need time to study, you need time to spend in the study room. In fact, I look at study room as one of the biggest, largest part in a family. Yes, because that's where the family of origin is.
So should we say it is in study room that you should learn each other? Like the 5 languages of love?
Exactly, 5 languages of love, 5 languages of Apology is the same. Oh yes.
There are those 5 languages of apology.
Exactly.
You have not taught me that.
Exactly. And then also personality, temperaments factor that. And there's something that I like calling, how do I say, like the backbone, the hardware of a marriage. Where sometimes I advise couples, draw a T, write one side your name and the other side your spouse, and then start comparing the differences that you have. If it's tribe, are you from the same tribe? If not, that means your cultures are totally different. Again, even education, do you share the same background in education? If not, also there's a difference. What's your faith in your religion? Do you share the same faith or not? You write that. Sometimes even age is a factor, depending on how you respond. So you also write age, you put your spouse's age and your age. You keep on going down, write it down, things that even if you fasted for 40 days, they wouldn't change.
And planted 1 million
They
seeds.
still wouldn't change. You have to find out what's the backbone of your relationship so that you can be able to get the right hardware, the right software to fit in. Not every software fits in every hardware. So what works for you might not work for me. But the only way you know what works for you is when you get to understand what is your marriage made of.
I hope by now, viewers, you have notebooks. The third room.
Wow, I know. The third room is a kitchen. And how I look at the kitchen is totally different. I know most of us know how to cook. I know people say the way to get to a man's heart is through food.
The stomach.
Through the stomach. Okay, fine. But I also look at it differently. It's a place where you mix recipes. I want to look at the kitchen as a place where you need to figure out your purpose. There's nothing, how do I say, traumatizing like getting married to somebody who doesn't know their purpose.
So is it a wife purpose, a husband purpose, and both?
Everyone needs to find out their purpose, because I believe there's a reason why God created you, and you need to find that out about that purpose. I think once you find out your purpose, you stop fighting about trivial things. They become irrelevant and you focus the bigger picture. So chances are you'll mix recipes. You'll try this and try that and try that and try that until you realize, oh, this is what I like, this is what my passion is. And as you find out, you figure out yourself with your relationship with God, then you get to find out what's your purpose. It gives you joy. It gives you a reason to wake up every morning and just pursue it. I don't know how else I can explain it. And it also makes challenges that come with marriage to be very trivial. You know, because without purpose, you'll magnify everything.
Okay, room number 4.
Room number 4, it's so important. In fact, I keep on reading most of the times that people separate because of room number 4.
Which is?
The storeroom.
Storeroom.
Exactly. Store. Store is a place where we keep things. We save them so that we can use for future. I want to identify it with finances. Finances are very important. They say no money, no what?
No romance.
Exactly. I wouldn't want anyone to undermine that. And also, they also say that the highest level of intimacy is financial intimacy. We have a lot of people.
Actually, money is good.
It is. We have a lot of people who can give you their body, but they would hide about money. And they're married.
True.
And yet you want to say we are married, naked, and not ashamed.
Actually, many people died without acknowledging their wealth.
Yes.
People.
So how can you be one if you're not even one financially?
Let me ask a question there. What of that spouse who is very stingy, their spouse? How can they help each other?
Sometimes you have to seek help if you have to. And I also want to say that love helps you reach out. So you need to sit down and discuss finances. And the biggest problem we make, or the biggest mistake we make, is we don't discuss finances when we're dating.
Of course, you don't want to look like you are after, especially for a woman. You don't want to look like you're in that relationship for money. You're there to look like a wife.
But who says you're the woman who has money, or the man is the one who has money? It's not your money, it's not his money, it's our money. And I think when people are doing premarital, which is very essential, I think the woman needs to come up with their current budget when they're single. And then the young man needs to come up with their budget. Then match the budget together and ask yourself, how are we going to meet this budget? do what we earn able to meet this budget? Do we foresee, just in case you lost your job, are we able to meet this budget? What can we cut down? Then you also realize one is a spender and one is a saver. We are totally different. But the key is learning how to balance.
Manage.
Yes.